Hello everyone. I think you can hear me. I mean, if somebody's watching, do let me know if you can hear me. Hey everybody, welcome back to another stream. This stream is a little bit different than what I usually do. I mean, it's the same thing, but a different technology. Today we are building our own auth, rolling my own auth, which is a popular term nowadays. That roll your own auth, why use a third-party service? Well, we're going to see how difficult it is to do the same. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a new Nest.js application. And for that, let me just open up this Nest.js docs. If you're wondering why Nest, because it's it's great. You know, I I don't enjoy Angular, but I enjoy Nest.js because it's the back end done right. I should say backend, I believe, should be opinionated rather than unopinionated. I mean, it's a subjective thing, but it's just my opinion. Okay, let's. I'll just go ahead and create a new Nest.js project. So I'll say Nest new, and what is it? Yeah, in the project name, let's just call this auth API. Also, if you have any questions for me, okay, wait, just forgot. Nest new auth API, and let's also add this strict command. Strict. Let's see how strict we can go with TypeScript. If anybody's watching, say hi in the chat. Let's talk. And let me know what you're doing nowadays. Let's go with PM. PM is our package manager. And the reason I chose to do this thing is because to see how difficult it is to roll your own auth. I've only done the username password thing manually, and in the beginning it was difficult, but then as you understand more things, it gets easier. So I want to see how difficult it gets with forgot password and all that stuff. So let's cd into auth API. Let's open that up in VS Code, our most favorite code editor. Okay, so there's going to be little front end in this one. Let's just have an initial commit. Okay, let's keep this open because we are going to use this terminal. And if you are new to Nest, this is how it looks like. This is the app main.ts file. Then you've got a module that uses a controller, that uses a service. There's a lot of stuff, and honestly, it's great. I love it. So we have an app module. Also, let me know if you can hear me properly. I don't know if there is a problem in the audio. If there is, let me just check it. Okay, I think the audio is fine. All right, so now if I want to have authentication, I will create a new service. I'll create a new controller and a new module. I think that's how it goes for a new route. Let's see. First steps. So we've got that. Maybe in the future I'll also add testing, but right now it's okay. Okay, we need a controller. Okay, just like this one. So let's go ahead and say, okay, this is the one that I'm going to keep for the server. Let's say npm, what was the command again? It's npm start dev. npm start dev. that's going to kickstart the API, and we are going to use something like Postman, which is integrated right inside of VS Code. Okay, now like we have the app module, let's create other modules. So I'm going to say nest new, I don't know module, but let's go with, let's first of all see what are the shortcuts that we get. So for the controller, we have CO. So let's create nest new CO, and it's going to be auth. Now, what? Sorry, nest G. Yeah, nest G CO auth. That will generate a controller, an auth controller, and let's do the same for what is it? The service. I don't know the shortcut for service, so I'll just go ahead and say service like this. Now we've got a service, and I suppose that's it. We probably don't need a module, do we? There's a controller, there's a provider, which is the service, and then there is a module. Okay, I think we should have a module. Let's create a module. All right, so we got the auth module. It does not have anything inside of it, so let's add the controllers, which will be the auth controller, and then let's add the providers, which is going to be auth service. And I think we can get rid of this, and we can get rid of this, and we could just import the auth. Okay, we already have the auth module, so we don't need two of these. Okay, and if I go to the auth controller, now this is where sort of REST endpoints are kept. So in here, I'll just go ahead and create a get endpoint. Let's say get, and I'm just going to say login. Let's create a async login method, and I'm just going to return this string login. Let's see how that goes. Let's see if it registered that. Yep, auth login. That was fast. I did not expect it to be this fast, but it is fast. Okay, now let's go over to Thunder client. This is what we're going to use. So we've got HTTP localhost port. Okay, now this is running on port 3000. So let's keep it that way. Port 3000. Auth login. Let's see. Hit send, and we get a string back. Perfect. So we got this, and now let's go to the first step of doing the authentication, which is the registration process. All right. So I'm going to use Lucia auth. If you don't know what that is, it's just a library that we can use. Also, we need a database. Also, we need a database schema. That's a lot. I mean, it's not, to be honest, but it is something. I think we should use the type ORM for this. Okay, if you look at what Lucia actually offers, is it just the backend thing, or is it also the front end thing? So for example, we have got username and password. I think it's maybe about the front end more, because if you look at the back end, you have this. A second. So if you look at the front, if you look at the back end, you have just the Lucia instance, and then when you sign up a user, okay, so you create a session, and you create a session cookie. Okay, but are we is there maybe an Express JS tutorial? Maybe we can follow that. Getting started. Okay, we have Express. Perfect. Okay, so all you do is just this. Now you have PostgreSQL, the Neon adapter, then your Node Postgres NPG adapter. Hi, Houdini Gaming. Nice to see you. I don't know which one to go with. Nicely Nest. Yes. So it's a module that you can install and use. What about Drizzle? There we have the Drizzle module 2 months ago. I'm not sure if I should go ahead and use an external library for this, because it's just Uvesh. Oh hi, Uvesh is my friend. He's a close friend of mine. I wonder if we really need something like Lucia auth, because if you check the Copenhagen book, yeah, this one, it's probably a guide to um, how you should handle authentication. So maybe we should refer to this. Okay, or maybe we could create an adapter ourselves in the Lucia database part. Okay, how about we give it a shot? Let's see. There is no type ORM, right? Type ORM Lucia. There is already an issue that is closed. Okay, it's closed. So maybe it's not that popular. Maybe I should start with just a basic part right now. Okay, just creating a user. So let's see. Let's check out the type ORM. No, not the health indicator. Getting started. Okay, so first I need these two. I think. Okay, let's go with MySQL. I want to try Postgres. Let's see. This is how you do stuff in this. Hello, my other friend, Arfaz. So we have two of my close friends with me on the stream. Good to see you guys. Let's go ahead and just install and let's try to get started. So we got type ORM and what else is it? MySQL. So first you've got all this. Okay, just get a call from my friend. I'll be right back. If you are watching this, Arfaz, I don't think it's the right time to call. Okay, so we have to install Nest.js type.orm and PG. In this article, you have to create a DB module. Okay, let's just go with this. So I'll install Nest.js type.orm and then type.orm and then PG. Now, how about that? PG. Okay, and also .env, because why not? But no, I don't think we need .env because there is a config service that you have to create. So why not just use config service? Here first, let's go out for ice cream. This is the middle of the week, my friend. I don't think you would have been ready if I told you to go for an ice cream. You're too late for the invitation. You're too late to invite me right now. I wish I could come. Maybe we can go tomorrow. Alright, so we got the config service. Let's also, okay, about the passwords. So let me go ahead and check my Postgres password and also if it's running or not. Postgres. What? PG. Oh, it's PSQL. What? Do I need to install Postgres again? And we've got, okay, so I am going to secretly create a .env file with the credentials. So local database, not a remote one, but you get the point. So I'll say db user is going to be Postgres and db password is going to be the password. Okay. Now, I think I'll need to also create a database in my Postgres admin, PG admin. So let's go ahead and create a new database and I'm going to call this auth, just auth. And let's see how that goes. Okay, so I have the database ready. The next thing is to set it up. So this guide I think might help me. So first I need to, okay, let's just get this up and running. So we got the config. So let's go to app module and in here let's import the config module. But for root, and I think that's all you need to do. Oh, we also need to do is global, and then you have this configuration.ts file. So let's go inside of here and let's say config / configuration.ts and let's export default function that returns an object. And in here, all we are going to have is just the db user and db password. As simple as that. Do we need anything else? I don't think so. And then we are going to load this configuration. Okay, I think that's it. Now let's focus on this. So we got the configuration service. To access the you need to inject with any provider. The module will use it. Okay. Now what else do we have? Okay, so we need our models or our entities. So let's go ahead and create an entity. Let's call this folder models, and then in here I think we are going to have the entities. I think they do specify it here. Okay, before creating the entity, I think we have to set up type ORM. Type ORM dot for root. Let's go ahead and do that again in here. Maybe we should move these other things above. Okay, type is going to be PG Postgres. The host is localhost. The port, I don't know, I think 5432 is the one. Import Postgres port. Yeah, 5432. The username. Okay, how do I use the config service here? I don't think I need migrations on this one. Let's take a look. Yeah, there we go. So I have to pass in for root async. Interesting. All right, let's give it a shot. So we got type ORM module dot for root async, and here we go ahead and import the config module. I don't know why, but we already did it above. User exists. Imports, inject, use factory. Then we have sequelize. Let's just go ahead and use config service. You have okay. Let's try it out. So imports, config module, inject, config service, and then we've got the use factory where we actually get the config service. Right? And then we return an object with these things. Let's paste them in and let's get rid of this. So we got the port. Let's add the username, which is going to be config.config. Okay, let's just rename this to config. We got config.get. Ooh, I don't think we get IntelliSense. Right. Is it possible to get IntelliSense? K equals to this was validated. I mean, what if I say K is the type of configuration? Oh. It's probably not possible. Okay, so you basically have to define an interface you have to define an interface. So I have to sort of do this. Let's create a type. It's actually going to be type and big. Let's call this env variables. Is going to be a return type or type of or configuration. Let's take a look. We already got it. Perfect. So now we can use this and we get the DB user, the password, we get the DB password. Is that all we need? We've got the entities, we can synchronize. Okay, I think the synchronize option is important. I saw it somewhere. Let's see what other options do we have. Database, okay. Database is off. That's what I named it. Yep, also this. Install extensions. That is a lot of stuff, but I probably don't need that. Okay, I think that's it. Is that all we need? Let's see if there are any errors. I don't think so. All right, now that we got our type ORM setup, we can, once this is done, the type ORM data society will be available to inject. Okay. Now let's go ahead and create our entities. So in the modules, I'm going to create a user.entity.ts, and it looks simple. So we export a class called user. Yep, we got the primary generated column. The IntelliSense breaks sometimes, and that's why VS Code also uses. Let's make this a number. Then we got a column for, I don't know, should we do email or username? Let's go with username. And then, okay, wait. If we don't do email, then we cannot do reset password. So we actually need email. Then we've got password. And then let's also additionally ask for the first and last name. First name and last name. Now, all of these, now some of these also can be optional. So I think I'll need to look into the type ORM doc first. Let's see, type ORM. Entities. What is an entity? It's just a class. So that's how it works. Okay, you can define it to be a UID, but no, we're not going to do that. Composite primary column. What's that? I heard about it for the first time. And special columns. Okay. Two or more columns, unlike a single column primary key which uniquely identifies each row in a table, uses a combination of columns to achieve uniqueness. So it's like a primary key with two columns. I think so. Okay, I am looking for something else here. I'm looking for, okay, so you get all these types. how do you make something optional? When using an entity constructor, its arguments must be optional. Since ORM creates instances of identity relevant from the database, it's not aware of your constructor arguments. Add column. Okay, these are just options. What if I want to make something optional? Type ORM. Okay, how about we ask ChatGPT? Let's do that. ChatGPT. Or rather, this bad boy. How do I make some column optional in type ORM? First name and last name. Well, which one do we want to be optional? I don't think anyone, but let's see. Okay, nullable. Got it. Let's not make anything optional. Let's go as it is. So that's our entry. Let's see if it got created in our database. I'm not sure if it did. Schemas, tables. Okay, it's not there. I think I saw a video on YouTube. Someone doing this. So let's see. Postgres, type ORM, Nest.js. Yeah, just that. Type ORM plus Postgres. Repositories, relations, migrations, and more. You know, what if I don't use type ORM? What if I go with something like Drizzle? But then again, it's like I'm thinking too much about this. All I want to do is build an auth API. That's all I have to do. Okay, how about we say in type ORM in Nest.js, how do I go about creating tables automatically for the entities? Okay, I just realized I created this entity, but I did not use it anywhere else. So it's just staying there. Okay, that's the problem. It's like you create a function, but you don't use it anywhere. And okay, how do I go about creating tables automatically for the entities? Yeah. So I think all I need to do is just specify these entities. For production, we might do migrations later. My entities are in the entities directory. Let's see how true that is. Right, so I'll just go entities. It's a mixed list. Okay. I don't think this is right by using this underscore pair name, but let's see. Dependencies initialized and I don't know how you can like, oh yeah, you can just go ahead and refresh in here. Tables, okay, we got it. We got the user table, perfect. I don't know why I named it user, but yeah, you helped me really nicely. Value. Give this a thumbs up. Give this a thumbs up. Okay, coming back to the point. So we got the user entity created. Now let's work on the authentication controller. So we're going to create a post endpoint for registration. So let's just go ahead and say at post register, and it's going to be an async method for register user. I'm specifying the register user because maybe in the future you need to do something with organizations, but you will have a separate controller for that. Now registering a user will take in a body, and that will require a DTO. So let's see Nest.js DTO validation. It's like I'm learning Nest.js by doing this. It's sort of a project because this pipe uses the class validator and transformer libraries. There are many options available. Okay, so you can extend this and then use it with your own thing. So let's restart the TS server, and it's the app, or no, it's the main.ts file. So in the main TS, we go ahead and say app.use global pipes, new validation pipe, and then you go ahead and have your DTO. So you've got the create user DTO. I don't know what the convention is of this file. I suppose it's just .dto.ts, but like, where do you specify this? I think we should specify it right inside this folder. So let's say register user.dto.ts. Okay, and in here we just export a class register user DTO. Now this is going to be okay. Now for the register user, I think we need to left to the entity, and it's going to be similar. The only difference is that we are going to add validation to this, and so I think we have to recreate this entire entity. If you just go ahead and say type ORM Nest.js, okay, what is it? Class validator. Type ORM class validator. Let's see if there is a way to use the class validator with it. So you create an entity. I'm not sure if I should create a DTO. Should I? Also, I forgot about this. Let's also add this created at. Created date. Default date. Let's see if that did something to the table. Columns, yeah, created at. Okay, perfect. That probably did not throw an error. So let's just go ahead and create a DTO. It doesn't really matter. So we are going to have the register user DTO, which will have the, of course, not the ID, the email, password, first name, last name. Okay, all these things. Let's just copy and paste them. We need to remove these decorators. So instead of this one, let's say class validator. If you anyone watching, if you have any questions or anything, do let me know. I'm open to answering any questions as well. Okay, let's see email. So you can just add is email. Okay, is email. Then we've got password, of course, is string. Then we have got the first name and last name, of course, again, string and string. That's it. That's our DTO. And we go inside of the auth controller, we get the body here, which will be the register user. Okay, what should I call this thing? Because if you look in the docs, what do they call this? Params. Okay, that's the param. Okay, I think this is what you call it. So you got this, and now are going to go in the service, auth service, and here's where all the methods actually exist. Now we need that. I don't think we need config, but what we do need is to create a new user. So let's async register user. We will get the DTO, which is of course this class that we created, and Rahul Bhandari. Hey, hi, thanks for joining in. All right, and what we can do in here is just return. Okay, here's where we need to define a constructor, and then we need to inject that service. So we can just do auth service. Auth service is going to be auth service. Oh, it's actually right here, auth service. And then you can just return, I don't know, you can do this. Why then async? Like, do you need async? Let's see what the docs say. So you have the config service. Let's go to controllers. These types of are already available, right? Yes, of course. I mean, this API is of course available, but I'm doing this for the sake of knowledge, to understand how it works internally, because it is going to help in the future, believe it or not. Whatever is available already, if we do it manually, it's going to understand us. It's going to make us understand how it works internally, and that's programming. That's problem solving. I don't know what to do in this case. We've got the service. I'm worrying too much. So we got the async register. I don't think we need async here. We just return this, but this is async, so we don't need to worry about all that stuff. Now in this auth service, we can probably inject the type ORM. So if you take a look at this type ORM, but something spaced with AI or use case. Let me see. You can try to create something spaced with AI or use case of AI, like some prompt websites could be helpful for many students, like projects. I mean, if you look online, there are already available projects like these, and I want to get into this stuff, using the GPT API and then doing something on top of it, but I really don't get interested in this right now. But yeah, it's actually an interesting idea. But if you specify, like, specifically what you're looking, okay, not the GPT API. So you mean create our own AI model, right? Train it ourselves. Is that what you mean? Machine learning and deep learning, doing it ourselves. And okay, now we can use this entity. So what do you exactly mean? Can you explain by this something space with AI? let's go ahead and within full stack development, what exactly? Like, is it a resource list of AI websites, something like that? This is something I am having a hard time understanding. Let's go ahead and inject repository, which is the user, and we just private private. Yeah, sure, share the websites. I don't think you will be able to do so because of how YouTube works, but sure, go ahead. You've got, okay, now in here, this is going to return a promise of user. Okay, so now to register a user, we need a couple of things. We need to hash the password. We need to send a verification email, which I might do later on, but for now, let's just go ahead and let's just say const user equals to await repository dot create the DTO, and then just run the user. Okay, that's not how it works. So you get back the user. I think I'll need to look into the type wall in docs. There is a query builder. Let's go insert into values. That looks like drizzle, but it's not, of course. Working with repository. Okay, so you get a repository, you find one by snack prompt. Okay, let me check. Never heard of that. Okay, so it's like it's discovering prompts, right? Something that you can use yourself. A list of prompts that you can use. That's something nice. Like it's a list, right? It's a collection of these things, and I don't think one person does it. It's like a lot of people do it, and there might be a lot of spam also. I don't know if this is one of the spams, but yeah, it's an interesting project. Yeah, thanks for sharing this. I'll look into it, and it's actually very easy to build something like this. But the thing is, if you are building this, then you have to also consider the caveats that come in, right? It's like a blog, right? If, for example, this one, you must buy this. Okay, so it's like a blog. If everything is free, it's like a blog post that you can use. You can just, and then there is a lot of features on this website as well. Sure, Rahul, we'll chat. If you're on Twitter, give me a follow, then we can maybe talk about this. My Twitter is, if you just go ahead and put this up. All right, I'll look into it for sure. Let me save this website. Okay, perfect. All right, so coming back to this, how do you, how do we, okay, you find one by, you change the name and then you save. Interesting. Repository API, okay. Let's see, so for the create, same as const user equals to new user. So you can create a new user object and then what? Then you can, so it's not asynchronous, you mean. How do I do asynchronous operations? Async await type one. Okay. Okay, maybe it has a create method that is async. Creates a new entity instance. Then do we have to do user.save or what? To pass in the deep partial user and is that it? Let's see. Oh wait. Okay, so you probably have to go ahead and do this repository dot save, and it takes in anything. So you pass in the user, that actually saves. Okay, and this is asynchronous. So you await this and then you return the user. This looks like a perfect method, but not really perfect because we are storing the password directly. So let me just add. Oh, let me just add a comment. Hash password. All right, so that's it. I'm just going to create this in the database. Now let's work on some more stuff like hashing the password. And I think if you look at this one, okay, password authentication. Checking for compromised passwords. Okay, that's also interesting. Let's do everything we can with this project that we've got. Okay. Password must be 8 characters long. Do not set the maximum password length too low. Okay, I hope you can see me. So let's just go ahead and do this, make this change in our entity. Password must be 8 characters, at least 8 characters long. So let's go ahead and say in here, we got the min, what, length. How do I define the minimum? Type ORM min. See. Okay, so it's not about type ORM, it's actually my bad. It's about the DTO. So in here you can have each context always class validator. Okay, I already have the docs open. Min. Oh, interesting. So you can use just the decorators for that. Min length is going to be 6 or 10 or 8. Let's go with 8. Then do not set the maximum password length too low, anywhere around 64 to 256 characters. Okay. Do not silently modify or truncate the input. All valid Unicode characters should be allowed, including white space. Use libraries to check for weak passwords. Detect leaked passwords with this API. Okay. Low budget password strength estimation. So it's okay. I don't think we need this. This is probably not needed because we are not building a fully fledged application, right? We're just building a simple authentication system for now. But yeah, we can use this. I think this is a free API. Or no, you need an API key. You need an API key. Okay. But still, maybe it's free. Is it? There is no pricing page, I see. So it's probably just the free API, but you have to have this API key. Okay, fine, but we'll do that later. Oh, okay, you can just do this. Wow. Can be used to check a password against past leaks. Hash the password and send the first 5 characters. Okay, anyways, let's just hash the password. Okay, moving on to hashing the password. So we got the min length 8, and we'll try breaking this as well. So we are going to create a new user in this video. How about we give it some object oriented touch. Okay, so we need a constructor, but I don't think we can have a constructor here. Like, if I have a constructor, it must take in the entire thing. Okay, then let's not go with this. Let's just go ahead and make this simple. So we create with the register user DTO, and then what do we have? Then okay, we need to hash the password in this. So I think we could just do user.password, and it's going to be equal to, and then we hash the password. We can do this. I don't think we should let this raw DTO get in there. We should actually filter it, probably. Yeah. Anyways, let's see. We recommend using argon2 ID with salting. The most basic form hashing is one way process to generate a unique representation of the input. Okay, I know hashing part, but it's simple and straightforward. So argon2 was the winner of 2013. OWASP. Okay. Let's see, argon2 OPM. Is it argon2 or is it argon2 ID? Are they different? Okay, I need to look into what this one says. So for example, if I go to MongoDB now, drizzle, getting started, there is yeah, this one. So we use this. And okay, let's go with this. Oh, we have an error. The module containing user repository. If is auth module a valid nest module? Okay, I think I missed something in this. Okay, so we have to use the for feature and then something like this. Let's go to auth module, and in here we have to use imports of imports, and then we have to type over in module dot for feature user. I didn't know about this. Also, it feels a little weird, but yeah, that's how it works. No point in criticizing this. So yeah, let's use the argon2 IDE library. It's as simple as installing it. So if you look at sign up in here, sign up, you've got the username, you've got the password, you hash the password. So you hash the password by doing const password hashed, or hashed password. It's going to be equal to await, and result hash. It's just a function. Hash. Let's see if even this argon2 has an implementation for Nest.js. I don't think so. I don't think that's actually necessary, but okay. They do have documentation for this. That's encryption, that's hashing. For hashing, you can use bcrypt and you can just use it directly. You don't need a service. You don't need a service or module for that. So yeah, we can use this directly. So you've got the hash function. You can hash the password. And yeah, I think that's it. That's probably it. Or we should just go ahead and do it something like this. So you have this DTO, and then you say password is going to be hashed password. So you modify the password. Then you've got the other thing, which is okay. So we have memory cost, time cost, output length, parallelism. Let's just use these things. I mean, it's probably for the good. So you hash the password. I don't know if we should create other methods in the service as well. So in a Nest.js service, is it okay to create helper methods that will be used in the same service and not outside? Is it a best practice? Okay. That's exactly what I was looking for. So let's create a private async hash password. It's like very straightforward. Basically encapsulates this the way you do hashing. But yeah, you've got this dot hash password that does this same thing. And I think that's why services are good, because you create a service and it has methods that you can use outside, and it also has methods that you cannot use outside. For example, this hash password. You cannot use it outside because it's a private one. All right, and so we got this, and this dot user repository dot create. Let's also have this. Oh, actually, leave it. I'm going over too much. So we hash the password. That's the first step. Then we should also do email verification, I think. Should we? Email verification. How long is the stream? It's been an hour. Okay. Email verification. Leave it. We'll do it later. So let's just add to the email verification. Okay, and don't mind this to do thing. Okay. It's a weird color that I think comes from an extension. All right, so email verification is the to do, and we already got the hash password, which is perfect. Now let's go ahead and give it a shot. So we got the auth/register. In this route, we will get back a user with an ID. I feel like we should use something else for the ID. Maybe a CUID or something else. Maybe CUID. If you look at this primary generated columns column, primary generated column, it takes in a strategy and then options. How about we take a look at this? You can go ahead and specify something. Data source, getting started. Okay, you can just search it. Never mind. This decorator. Constraint name. Strategy. Let's see what the strategy, like if there is a strategy we can use directly in here. Okay, so identity, increment, row ID, and UUID. I know increment, I know UUID. I don't know about the identity and row ID. Okay, here we go. Auto increment. Identity only for Postgres. Only for cockroach TP row ID. And I think it's fine. Let's just go with that number. Now let's go ahead and give it a shot. Give me a minute. I will be right back. All right. So coming back to this. Let's test this endpoint out. So let's go in the under client, and we're going to use register, and this is going to be a post request. and the body is going to contain the first name. Okay, this is interesting. What if they also, what if the user also gives in the ID? Now that's wrong, to be honest. So we don't want to just enter the entire DTO. Like what if the request comes with the ID, and okay, it cannot, because we did not specify it in the DTO. Perfect. So first name, but what if, you know, what if I give it a short click? It's going to be a number. We know that. So let's say 10. And let's specify first name. We've got first name to be Usman. Last name, just say S. Email is going to be usmans.me at gmail.com. Doesn't matter. Password, let's go with, it must be less than 8 characters, just for testing purposes. I said send. Okay, password must be longer or equal than 8 characters. Perfect. So let's just go ahead and say hit send. Okay, that actually worked, but it did not use this ID. Okay, I think it used this one because it responded to this, and we got our password hashed. Perfect. Okay, remember this password. It's going to come in handy. So this is our database. Let's actually work on getting a user, because now we have registered the user. I think we should go ahead and get the user as well. But should we, like, we only need the login endpoint now. Now logging in is something else. Logging, when you log in, you receive a JSON web token. Now that JSON web token is then used for authenticating the other requests, or you can create a session. Now I'm not sure which one I should go with. So if you look at this one, in the login, you have, you create a session, you create a session cookie, and then you set the session cookie. Okay, here we don't have an express example, but here we do have an express example. So why not? Let's see. In the routes, we have login, or let's just go with sign up. In the sign up, you have get and post. Okay, get is simple. Fine. Let's go sign up post. It has username, password. You have the hashed password. Okay, new Argentine ID. What is Oslo? Oslo. What's the difference between Oslo and just the Argentine ID? Okay, then why don't we use this thing? I think it's fine. So you got the hashed password, utp.prepare, you insert, okay, perfect. Then you create a session. Then you send, so you send a response with the session cookie. Okay. That's what you do in Express. But if I were to copy and paste this, let's go ahead and, okay, wait. We're back. So okay, I was looking at this. Let's ask our good friend to, you know, help us with this. So give modify the below code to make it Nest.js specific. Oh shit! No swearing on YouTube. Ah, typically use a service to handle database operations and a controller to handle HTTP requests. Okay, you've got the user service, which is okay, fine. But then what about this response? So you can get the response and then you can just set cookie. And then, okay, it knows about Lucia instance. Interesting. You also have HTTP exception. Okay, fine. But should we use Lucia or not? Because for Lucia we probably need to have this setup. Let's see, lib auth. So you have the adapter. I think it does everything for you. Lucia does everything for you ultimately. The question is it necessary? Or hey, okay, see you later, Rahul. Hey, Mufiz. Again, Mufiz is another friend of mine. 3 of my friends joined today. Nice to see. Okay, I'm curious what I should do in this case. Should I use a normal JSON web token, return it back to this, return it back in the response, or should I use something like Lucia and then set a header in the API response and then return it? Create session cookie. Okay, so this is basically session authentication. This is not JWT. I think this is not JWT. Bearer tokens. Authorization, read bearer token. For apps that can't use cookies, store the session ID in local storage and send it to the server. Read bearer token and validate session. I feel like I should use this. All I need to do is just either define the adapter myself because it's type ORM. Okay, I need to define my own adapter. Fine, we will do it. It's fine. What could go wrong? Let's go ahead and install Lucia. I think that's all you need. And then we need to define to build my own adapter. I think I did it for a friend of mine. For a friend of mine, I built an adapter because he wanted to use Xata, XATA, as the database. So let's do this. It's going to be fine. I will go ahead and create in the src itself. Let's create a folder called lib. I'll just create a file called lucia.ps, and here I'll create a new Lucia instance, but I will need the adapter first. So I'll create type ORM adapter.ts, or better yet, let's create a folder called Lucia in the lib folder, then move this as in index.ts inside the Lucia folder, and let's create the type ORM adapter. It's going to be simple. So let's export a class type ORM adapter implements the adapter that comes from Lucia. All right, this is interesting. So all these methods are necessary. I don't remember how I did it, but it's fine. So you've got the get session and user returns the session and the okay. Now I also need a session table because I need it. Let's go ahead and create a new session table. So you got the users table where you have the ID. I think that's all you need. And then you've got the session table that needs ID, user ID, that's a reference to the other table, and expires at. Okay, that's going to be fine. Let's see. Session table. So for session table, I will need to go ahead and create a new model, session.entity.ts. Again, that's going to be an entity, export class session. It's going to have the primary generated column. Now sessions can be multiple, so why not use the UID? Okay. Then we got the user ID, which I'll take a look at. Okay, let's just do it right now. Type ORM. Type ORM. Where are you? So how do I link two tables? Object ID, primary column, relation 1-to-1. Is it 1-to-1 or is it 1-to-many? I think it's 1-to-1 because one user can have one session. No, one user can have multiple sessions. So it's probably many to one, right? Photo user.photos, which is no, not in this way. And 1-to-1, you just have profile.user. Interesting. That's an interesting way to do this. All I want is just to link this ID, this user's ID to the session. And how do I do it? So you've got the join column. Okay, how about we go ahead and take this, go to Claude. Okay, let's go to Claude AI and tell it to give me type ORM entity for the below Brazil tables, right? Let's see. So you've got the user where you have sessions, which is a session array, 1-to-many. Okay, that's what I suspected, but I did not know. Right, so in here we are going to have the primary generated column, or what? Primary column. What's the difference? Yeah, I want it to be generated. So we have the user ID, so let's say add column. user ID. I think the created at is like, okay, it's all camel case in the database. I don't know why camel case is not preferred, but it is there, so let's keep it. Expires and it's going to be date. Okay, why timestamp Z with time zone true mode date? Okay, it's, I think maybe because of with time zone. And finally, we have the user. Many to one. Then you just have users. I to import from user entity. So in this you return the user, and then in this you just return user dot sessions. Interesting. Why don't we just say to user dot set? Okay. Guess I was wrong. You have to return this and then do it this way. Which is weird, but yeah, I'll take it. So let's go in here and then we'll define add one to many. So you just need to import session entity, and yeah, that works. But why is this? Okay, this looks weird. So you have a function, then you have another function. Don't know if the type or docs have the same. If they do specify, you can just wait. What? Okay, what is the relation to ID? Leave it. Let's go to one to many. So you, okay, in here you just have to do this. Weird, but okay, fine. Let's see if we have the session table also created. We don't have the sessions column probably because it's an array, but we have the session table which includes user ID. Fine. All right, now going back to this. So for the adapter, we needed the, okay, now that we got this thing, let's actually go ahead and use this type or adapter. Delete session, delete user sessions, get session and user. Which is the easiest? I think set session is easiest because all you need to do is just create a new session. But if you were to look at this adapter, I want to see this. So let me just Google this. You've got this. Okay, so in here you can just take a look at this. So the docs, no, packages, adapter drizzle, source, drivers, Postgres. Let's see. So you define the DB. I don't think I need the DB, but I probably need the repository. So let's create a constructor where we are going to have a private user repository, which will be repository of user, which okay, took some time, but yeah. Then we are going to have this repository again. Oh, no, not from Lucia, but from session entity. Okay. Oh, I just hit save and it did all. It already made all the implementations. Okay, not a problem, I suppose. So let's see. We've got the get session and user. All it will return is an array with the session and the user. Database session, database user. or null. So in here okay, there's a session table, okay, fine. Let's see, get session and user, the const result equals to you select, and then you transform into database session. And okay, let's go ahead and do that. So first we need to make this async. Oops, sorry. And here they defined the user ID to be string, and I defined it to be a number. I think I can change it. Let's see. Okay, maybe this is what we change. Anyways, we'll see if it gives us any problems. So now we will need the session, right? So let's say const result equals to await, and we got the session repository dot, we need to find by the user's ID and the session ID. Let's see, find one by the session ID. Argument of type. Okay. Yeah. So you have ID, session ID, and then you can have the user, which is another filter on its own. Am I right? Yeah. User, and then the ID of the user will be what? This dot user table dot. Okay, so okay, you just inner join. Okay, this is a join. I wonder if there are joins in type-orm. I think there are. Let's see. Inner and left joins. Okay, that's part of the query builder, but what if I want to use just the repository? There is data source, there is relation, there is repository. Let's go to the repository API. Let's see, join. There is no join, so you probably don't need it, I think. Let's see, the result is session or null. So result dot, okay, you got the user back. Anyways, my bad. So await this dot, okay, fine. If result dot length is not equal to 1, then you just, so you have, so if not result, you just return null. Perfect. But if there is a result, you return an array, you transform into database session, transform into, okay, you have to create these functions. Where are these functions? Let's copy this. Okay, raw is going to be the session. So you get these from raw, and then you just, okay. Oh, I think that's it. You don't need this function, so you can just return the result. Actually, I'm not sure. Like, attributes is missing. Okay, somebody explain this to me. Attributes is missing. Attributes. Okay, maybe if I have this in here, you've got the attributes, which is the entire user, which is what you return. Okay, I'll take it. Transform into database session, what result, and then transform into database user, Again, interesting. This is just going to be user. And now, if you look into database user, this interface has user ID, which what if my database has, you know, okay, leave it. I'll just go ahead and modify this from number to a string and make this a UI. And for that, I think I'll need to uh, truncate this. So, how about I just truncate the entire table? Okay, I need to do truncate cascade. Okay, fine. Hit save. Let's see if we get any errors. No errors. Does that mean our database has changed? Like if I refresh columns ID, okay, we get the UUID. That was super easy. Anyways, so now we got this transform into database user. That's it. That's our first implementation. That was easier than I thought. But yeah. Anyways, coming to the next one. Get user sessions. This is also interesting because here you need to get from session table. You need to get all the sessions of the particular user. Okay, that's simple. Again, same thing. Find okay, wait. Do you have find by? Of course you have find by. Why not? All right, so we got the results, and you just transform that into a database session and then return it. Return. That's it. That was easy. All right. Now set session. Set session will basically insert this session. So it's going to be async and then await this dot session dot save session. Okay, I don't think we need a validation for this. Then we've got this update session expiration. Let's take a look at this one. Or like if Copilot can do it. Wait, is this it? You just set expires at. I'm slowly liking type ORM, because it feels like an actual ORM with very little thing to do yourself. Of course, there is the control factor. Right? You definitely need a control, but yeah. Okay, is that how you delete expired sessions? Wow, I did not know that's how you do it. But okay, our adapter is ready. We don't need the user repository. We only need the sessions repository. And I wonder where or how we are going to use it, because like we are taking it in the constructor, right? So we have to pass it in the constructor somewhere. Okay, here's how you do it. That's easy. That's super simple. I did not know that. So now we can go inside of here and let's see. Let's check the drizzle ORM. So you have the adapter, you export the adapter, you create the adapter, and so let's go ahead and create adapter, or better yet, let's just call this type ORM adapter equals to new type ORM adapter, where you have to pass in the session repository. How do you create a session repository? Now here's where we are using the normal type ORM. So how do you create a repository? Working with repository, you have the data source, you can get repository from the data source, but how do you get the data source? Is that the entity manager? Yeah. Okay, let's see. Multiple databases, type ORM transactions. A database transaction is okay. No, I will need to. Okay, once it and entity manager objects will be available to inject across. Okay, then I think I have to manually go ahead and set up data source, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to say const data source, or let's just say, let's just call it Lucia data source. Why not? Now in here, I think we need an object. Okay, so if you look at the app module in this entire use factory, this is what we actually want, but I don't know how we can get this to work. So let's see. I'm just going to go ahead and copy all this and paste it right over here. Auto load entities is not the one. Synchronize true. Okay. Instead of config, we have .env, I think. So we can just use like maybe we have to use .env package. Don't need this. Alright, let's go ahead and import .env from .env. We just have .env.config, and then we can just do process.env.db user, and then right. So in here we can actually go ahead and so you get our data source, but how do you get a repository? You get a repository when you use the data source. So you can get the you can just pass it in here. So you got Lucia data source dot get repository of the session. So that's how it works. So we got the adapter. Now it's time to create the Lucia instance, new Lucia, and we just pass in the type ORM adapter. I think that should be it, hopefully. Yeah, that's it. That is it. And we just export this. All right, perfect. Let's see if this will work. So I created this Lucia variable, and I don't know if it needs a service in itself. Like, I did not search about this, but a complete override now uses session token instead of JWTs and the update. Okay, no JWTs, but where is Nest.js? Okay, I can't say much since I'm not familiar with Electron, but I think the Nest docs do have something to say about, like, or maybe I could just refer to our friend, this little friend that we have. If you didn't know about him, GitHub Copilot. How do I use Lucia with Nest.js? Do I need a service? Okay, it clearly does not know about Lucia auth, which is fine. But Lucia auth, if you look closely, it's just it's fairly straightforward. You've got username and password. Let's go ahead and say sessions. Okay, I did not see this. Apparently, you have to define the session attributes as well. That is basically what you. Okay. I feel a little tired, but it's fine. Interface register. You can type it vertically like this. Database session attributes. Then you pass in get session attributes, and then okay. Express. API reference. Adapter. Database session configuration. Okay, fine. We'll see if something hits us, but right now it's okay. Let's move along. So in the auth controller, we will go ahead and create a post with login. It's login, and this is going to be login user with the body of login user DTO, which again will be defined. Let's go ahead and say login dash user dot DTO dot TS, and it's going to be a little bit similar to this one. There's going to be slight differences, of course. We need the email and password, but we don't need the first name and last name. That's it. That's the difference. Oh, okay. And this last name is going to be login user. Right. So let's go in the auth controller and let's do this. And once we do this, we also need to define it in the auth service. So let's create missing login user. That is just going to be empty for now. Let's just return, null. It doesn't matter what we return right now. Just null will do. least we have something. Now the login user method. If you look at the docs in the guides, email and password. Okay, this guide uses Oslo, all related utilities. Let's just use it because why not? I think I already went through the Copenhagen book because that's how you thing. So you got the email, you got the password hash. That's what I handle manually. Also, yeah, instead of using this directly, I think I should use the new argon to ID thing. So new argon to ID. And I think I did not. Wait. So turns out it does not use Oslo, this guide. Okay. Well, we'll probably use Oslo later on. Not right now. If not right now, later on. But yeah, email check is valid email. I already have validation. Perfect. Let's go in here. So this is the sign up function which we already did. This is the sign in user. Now, when logging in, you first validate the email and password, which is fine. Then you get the user from the database. Let's do that. So we have the user, email does not exist. Okay, but then what does? Wait, so how did it work in this adapter? Find by, find by, find one by, find one by email. So now you get the user on null, and if not user, then what do? Returning immediately allows malicious to figure out. Okay, you return a new response. So okay, this is interesting. In Nest.js, in the providers, how do you return? Like, okay, occasionally we might have dependencies which do not necessarily have to be resolved. Okay, wait. So modules, pipes, cards, there is a lot of stuff. So let's ask our friend. In my auth service, I want to, in my auth service login user method, I want to return a response object from the API, but that is appropriate if done in the controller. What should I do in the service itself? I think I should return null, and then returning null will eventually just give it back. Okay, returning an error, and then in the controller I have try catch. This is weird. Like, is it a good practice to have try catch in the controller? I don't think so. Global exception filter. So you return a not found exception. You create a global exception filter and apply it to your main TS file. I think that's too much. That is too much. Like if I go to controllers, okay, handling errors. Okay, let's see. There's a separate chapter about handling errors. Client side, get, and then there is pipes that act sort of as a middleware. Okay, it's normal practice to have try catch. Okay, let's go to the first thing. So you return a new error in here. So if not user, return new error, or actually you should throw new error, user not found. Okay. Rather, I think I should actually have invalid email or password. Okay. I don't know if I should return a response, or I cannot. I don't think I can return a response like this. Probably not. But anyways, let's now verify this. So to verify, we'll create another method, private string verify password, which will take in the password and the hashed password and then return true. Weird, but yeah. We're not going to return true, don't worry. What we're going to do is we're going to take in the hashed password first and then take in the password, and then we're going to return await verify from this hashed password and then password, and then again the options, these options. Okay, so you got the verify password, and this is going to return a promise of user or null. Let's just go with user for now. And now we have valid password const. Yeah, how about I take this out? Const valid password, await verified password. So you give it the user.password and then the login user dto.password. All right. If not valid password, then we return, then we throw another error. So if not valid password, then we throw new error, invalid email or password, again the same thing. Otherwise, we create a session. Now, logging in the user involves creating a session, but I'm still going to create a different method for this. So let's just go ahead and say private, let's say create session and cookie. Let's just say create session and cookie. We are just going to take in the user's ID. I think that's all we need. And the session cookie is, I don't know what type it's going to be, so let's keep it simple. So we have const session equals to await Lucia dot create session. What do you mean? Okay. And then we create a session cookie. Just return the session. Let's just create a session cookie is going to be equal to Lucia.create session cookie with the session.id, and this is of type cookie. So let's return the Oops, it's going to be a promise of cookie. Okay, and that's what will happen here. So you get the session cookie, and that is what you return from this. So in turn, you return a promise of string. As simple as that. I don't know if these methods should be in here, but maybe they shouldn't be in here. But if they are, I don't think there's a problem right now. It's been 2 hours since we are streaming. Wow, that looks good. Email verification is necessary. We'll do that. But right now it's simple. Let's go in here. Okay, let's save this service and let's see what else we've got. So this is what we need to do. We need to try. Okay, we also need the response here. So we could just do at res, and this is a response. We're going to do the response that comes from Express, if you didn't know already. And okay, so you get the response. Now we wrap it with try catch. So let's do try and catch. You return a new response with the status of 400. So you get back the error, which I think you just get it. It's kind of no, let's make this 400. Okay, I think there is a better way to. Why did not I look into this? There's an HTTP exception. You can throw an HTTP exception itself. Okay, so you can throw a new HTTP exception that I think will do the job. So you don't need this old school Express stuff. You can actually just throw a new HTTP exception, which will include a status of HTTP status dot, let's see which one. Okay, bad request, and the message of the error is going to be e.message. Why did I import this? Let's get rid of the decorator. And you also need a forbidden. Okay, why? You already did. Hmm. Let's rename this to error because it is an error. So you've got HTTP status forbidden. Okay. You take the response, then you take the status, then you take the options. But like, okay, you take the message and the request. Okay. Let's see if this goes well. So you can log in the user. Oh, okay, one more thing. So here you get back the cookie, right? And actually session cookie, to be more precise. So you get that, and I need to make this async. Let's also make this async to be more convenient. Oh, sorry, not convenient. To be persistent, consistent. Okay. And so we got the session cookie, and if you take a look at this, we return a new response. I don't know why null, but yeah, status 302. This is error handling. So, but otherwise you can also just return a new response like redirection status code. Okay, status code. As mentioned, the response is always 200 by default, except for post request, which is 201. Okay, so we can actually make this 302. I don't know why, but yeah. How do you change it? HTTP code 302. And what is it about? I think it's redirect. Yeah, something like that. So we got 302, and then in headers you specify the location, which is slash, so which is probably the home page, and you've got set cookie header. But how do we set headers? Wow. So you can just set header like this, but what if you want to set header like inside this thing? Headers. Okay, this is open API. What is this? Headers. Okay, then you will need this thing. Then I think this is not really necessary. What's necessary is this. Response from express. Again, let's get rid of this. And so we got the session cookie, and now we need to res dot status http status dot, I think it's temporary redirect. No, it's somehow 302, but I need to find this 302. Okay, there is no 302. Why there is no 302? Oh, there is found. That's 302. And so that's how you return the status. And then the headers. Where's the headers part? Now you can interact with the natives, for example, set cookies headers, but leave rest to the framework. Of course. So I need to set headers. Let's do rest.set header, set cookie, and then rest.set header location to slash for now. I also cannot do rest.set. Yeah, so now I can just send status, right? Send status. Okay, that's it. That's it. I think this controller method is a bit too long, but of course it gets longer. I think we should try it. We will get, okay, to try this we need to register first, and Okay, fine. Let's see. Let's give it a shot. So I'm going to go in the Thunder client. Let's go ahead and register first. So I'll just use the same credentials. ID 10. It doesn't matter if we have it or not. So let's remove this. Let's hit send. We got our user now with the ID of a UUID, which is great. And now I'm going to use the same credentials for login. Okay, it's going to be the same credentials, but it's not going to be, these two are going to be ignored. But let's try modifying the password. Let's see if we get the error. Wow, perfect, we get the error. Let's try modifying this. Okay, all right. And now let's modifying this. Wow, perfect. All right, now that we got this, let's log in. Okay, interesting. So we got this error, cannot read properties of undefined. So Lucia is undefined. What? Why? Create session. I think it's the way Nest.js works internally, because if you look into the auth service, maybe we need to create a Lucia service, something like that, and then inject that service right in this auth service, right? Yeah, and we're going to use the Lucia service throughout, so it makes sense to. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's create a Lucia service. Why not? So what do we need? We need the adapter, and in the adapter we need the repository. We can get the repository from this. I mean, not from this, but we can get the repository otherwise. So let's create a new module. Nest gmo Lucia. I think one module can have multiple services. So if we create the Lucia service right inside the auth module, Nest.js multiple services in module. Is this? I have a post module which contains controller, class, two services, post service and post cache service. These are classes I'm injecting in post service. I'm using in post cache service. Okay. Okay. So I think I need to look into another question. Okay, maybe if I want to have this Lucia auth service auth, let's call this service auth Lucia. I don't know if that's the right way. Let's hope. Okay, no. Yeah, the nest thing is confused. Do I have to do this? Okay. So it created this Lucia folder which contains the Lucia service, which is an injectable, and then you can actually inject this right inside the auth module. Oh no, provide this. So yeah, it can be injected into the auth service. I think so. So now let's actually build this one out. Lucia service. So if you look at this Lucia service, It's actually going to use the type ORM session thing, right? So yeah, we need for feature, we also need session. Oh, no, not this one. This one. So now let's go into Lucia service, and what we actually need in here is, I might be missing something. Okay, static for root. So I need a for root. Static for root. And that's not going to take in anything. That's just going to return Lucia, I think. Yeah. So, okay, we need a constructor where we will go ahead and define a private. No, with private, we'll first inject the repository. We'll inject the, oh, it's going to be @ sign. We'll inject the private sessions repository, which will be a repository of session entity. Okay, what's wrong? I think I missed something. Yeah, I missed that. Anyways, and so in the for root, we basically first create the type ORM adapter. So let's create a const type ORM adapter. It will be new type ORM adapter, which we will import from, which I will have to simply put right over here. I will do that, and that I'll import it. All right. Oh, why? Because it's private. Let's make it public. No. Static. How do I use a service? Okay, wait. I think I'm complicating this too much. This Lucia service is going to have, it's not going to have the for root method. It's just going to have a Lucia variable, right? Which private. So yeah, I was wrong about this for root thing. But yeah, it's going to have a private Lucia member, and that's what we're going to set. Just like Lucia equals to new Lucia type ORM adapter. I think that's it. But this is not being used anywhere, so that's actually weird. I think I'm wrong about this. Okay. Dependency injection. Oh, something's wrong. Let's see. I think I saw somewhere how they have drizzle Nest.js. How they set up drizzle with Nest.js. Like you have this. Let's go inside the packages. New Postgres. Well, so there's the module. Then there is okay, this is the testing. Injectable. You get drizzle. Then you return the drizzle instance. What do you do in the module? You have the module. Interesting, yet I'm a little new to this. I'm actually very new to this. So what do I need? What am I missing? We have the Lucia service. I think I'll need to create a Lucia module itself, which will then be used. Maybe I have to get Lucia. I think that's it. That's probably all I need to do. Okay, let's give it a shot. So if I now go inside the auth service, now we need to inject the Lucia service, right? And through the Lucia service, like now you no longer import it. But now if you were to use this dot Lucia, it's going to create a little bit problem because you need to do a get Lucia. I don't know if that was a good idea, but I'll consult it with some people. I'll ask some people about this if this is the right decision. But apparently this might work. What I am actually worried about is this. There will be an error. This one. So require of ES module. Lucia is an ES module. It cannot be import. It cannot be required. So I have to go inside the PS config and change this. And for that I'll need to stop this. So let's go ahead and change this to, I don't know, ES 2015 maybe. That should work. Wow. Let's see. Nest.js required error. I don't know how I can. Okay, there is. There's always they have this thing in the docs. I like their docs. Okay. EJS. Sorry. ESM. Okay, so do I just need to do this? I'm not sure. Let's see if this works. Wow. No, that didn't work. Weird, but that didn't quite work. Okay. How do I do this? Until we support ESM modules, you can use dynamic imports with the modules 16 option you just pick, so that you can. Oh, okay. So this was in 2023 February. They probably still don't support ESM, which is fine, but let's go with module resolution node 16, and then let's go in. Okay, wait, what's wrong? Weird, but I will need to do something else in this part. I will need to. Okay, let's get rid of this and let's go into Lucia service, and in here let's actually const something is equal to await info Lucia. I mean, I don't know whatever you say, but it's what? How is it a common JS? Let me restart the PS server something. Nest.js LSM modules. Okay, using dynamic import function, await import variable needed, helper function, import is saved to local variable. Okay. Module resolution to node next or module to node 16. Then you can do await import. And if you are doing await import, you probably have to do this here. Okay, so you cannot import types, which is okay, fine. Importing a type from ESM will not result in a require call since it's only used by TypeScript. A bit messy. So you have this get random function. Okay, it's a bit messy, but it's fine, right? I think so. So you can do get Lucia, but I'm not. Okay, I am using Lucia, so let's say async function get Lucia class. Yeah, and then we do this, and then I return Lucia.default. Oh, sorry, no, I import it like this. Okay, it's actually a little bit more. So you have to import it. What is eval? Like eval, I don't think this is the right thing. Okay, you use this eval thing. Not the great, not one of the great things to do, but yeah, you can actually still use import something from Lucia as this type Lucia, but this will still not work. Uh, this is very messy. I don't know, like, is this still not solved? January 31, 2023. It's been a long time. It's closed. I suppose that will eventually migrate towards ASM, but there's no plan to do this at the moment. This was 2021. Oh, that's weird. This is something in the JavaScript world that is terrible. ESM versus CJS. You sometimes you have to use CJS, sometimes you have to use ESM. It's just not okay. I need to use a library which is only ESM module. How do I do it? My friend, very abstract, same answer. Yes, but you might meet some problem. That's why I looked into this. ES modules can import CommonJS. CommonJS cannot import ES. Nest.js does not currently support to compile ESM. Let's see. Still open from 2021 December. And it's logged to collaborators. Okay, fine. So this the instruction to use ESM to use import for ES modules in CommonJS can be found everywhere, but when using TypeScript, the additional hint is missing how to prevent the component. Okay. Set modularization node next. Okay. Then use the eval workaround. I don't want to use it, but I don't think that is another way. There's probably no way. Await import call when needed. Okay, yeah, I can do this, but the problem is again. Oh, okay. So the problem is nothing. I can just move back to CommonJS, okay, and I can actually just do this eval import import Lucia as promise. Okay, fine, but property default does not. Because I have to wrap this in parentheses, and that did not change anything. So I have to use any, which I hate to use, but I think I have to use it. So here you return a promise of okay, now this is even weirder because you just cannot use a wait. Oh boy, this is literally giving me a headache. Okay, I think this is the best possible way to do it now. So you create this eval import random then module.default. Um, let's give this a shot. Why not? It's going to be loops here, and this is going to be loops here, and it implicitly has any type, but I'm going to give it any type again. Um, this is messed up. I think for something like this, I have to. Oh, okay. Mm. So if I set this to node 16, and then if I also set this to module resolution to node 16, and then I take all these out and even take this out. So I practically cannot set this type, so I have to. Oh wait, okay, that is something. The current file is common.js. change its file extension. Listen up, I'm not sure, but I might have to use JS doc in here then. Oh man, not again. What is wrong? Oh wait, it worked. It worked. Use JS doc in TypeScript. So when you do this, and for me this did not work. So I don't know how you did it. Maybe it's the TS config. Okay, now you need this. How about I add set use here and async set use here, but then again I'll need a way to what part. Let's do branch use here is to import. Oh, turns out I can use import. Okay, so this is how it's going to go. This is super crazy. This is very crazy. Um, if any of you know about this, if any of you know a solution to this problem, do let me know, because okay, now there is TS doc. Okay, it's not that I'm not a fan of new things, but again, it's also by Microsoft. Mm, okay, I wonder why I cannot use just import type, like import something from this, yeah, type this here, and it says to convert this frame to an ECMAScript module. Okay, wait, I did not. Let's try this out. I did this, and it did not complain. There are new problems now. There are a lot of problems now. I think I'll have to make this library entirely in, what do we call this? EJS if I want to use Lucia auth. Lucia auth JS. Let's hope there is something. There is only next Lucia auth. There is nothing Nest related right now. So I suppose we have to use something else for the authentication. I did not see this page. So you define a module controller and service for auth, and then you simply use something else for the authentication. All it does is it creates a cookie. This is JWT service. So I could have just, I could have just used JWT. I know I could have used JWT, but I wanted to try out sessions. I don't think I can try out sessions. Okay, then I think I should go with the standard method of Nest.js for authentication, which is using JWTs, and I think we'll keep it to this just 2 hours and 50 minutes today, because I'm kind of done and there is a lot that could be done right in here. There is a lot. They already have the docs, so why not just use their own way? So the next step, I think tomorrow is the right time. Scrap Lucia for this and use JWT. Now let's just return an empty string for now. No Lucia service, and going back to JS. Again, no Lucia service. Wow. All right, so yeah, on Lucia. Yeah. So even the type ORM adapter that I made for Lucia, that was also scrapped. I deleted it in a hurry, but you get the point. I deleted it and it's gone. But I can make it again. It's a lot of it was by GPT. Oh, sorry, GitHub Copilot. But yeah, that was fun until now. What we did, the login part is remaining, of course, because we don't have proper validation. Okay, this is the basic validation. Okay, the user is now validated. All I need to return is the proper thing. So let's also add to, it's going to be to do use data. Okay. So that's it. I think I should make a commit without this. So let's just add it to particular. And I am a little too tired. All right, I think that's it. We could go on for another 10 minutes. If any one of you have any questions, do let me know in the chat. If before going, if I should answer any one of your questions. So then tomorrow we will mess with the authentication stuff, and I don't think I need any of these. So let's close. Okay, Lucia auth, we're not going to need it anymore. At least we hash the password using argon2. Okay, modules drizzle. All right. I think it's time to leave. So if any one of you is watching, we will probably have another stream tomorrow, maybe tomorrow or next week, who knows. I haven't planned it, but yeah. So let's also commit this. User registration. Yeah. All right. So I think that's it for today's stream, and we'll meet tomorrow with the next steps, which is after authenticating the user, we will use JSON Web Tokens to return the token and then use it as a bearer token. Basically, follow the docs what they say. All right. So bye everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and see you later.